Excellent. Thank you very much. My name is José Arturo Gleason Espíndola. I am from Mexico. I'm living in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. I'm a researcher of the University of Guadalajara. But now I am talking as a president of the Mexican Rainwater Catchment System Association, our national movement that we are pushing the rainwater harvesting movement. So I want to speak about the status of rainwater harvesting in Mexico. Let's start. Well, the content of this presentation is, I want to comment a few information about the water situation in the world and in Mexico, about the rainwater harvesting in Mexico, some advances that we are doing in technical aspects, our Mexican rainwater harvesting system, what kind of system we are pushing, what Amsca is doing in national level and overall in international level. So let's start. I want to share with you some data that you already know, the situation of water in the world, but I want to link it with my country. Well, in this picture, we can see a quarter of the world's population suffers from water scarcity. As you can see here, in North America, we can see this red area. That means that there are the stress, the water scarcity stress is very high. So my country is here, and we can find overall in the central region and the northern a scarcity of water. So this year in Mexico, we suffered a big shortage in many parts of our country, but this crisis reflects in the northern, in the central, in the northern. Southern is very flooded. There are a lot of water, but we have these extremes. No, in the north is dry, and in the southern is wet. So here in this picture, we see that the more specific the situation. My city is here, it's in Western Mexico. We are in the middle of red and orange region. So the stretch is high. In this picture, the number of the crisis is 5. My state, my city is almost 4. So we are facing a really water crisis in our country. So in this context, the rainwater harvesting movement is working. I show this picture because we try to teach the people the origin of the problem. This is my city in 1542, before the urbanization. In the exposure, we can find a river, the San Juan de Dios River, and the Atemaja River. These both rivers join in the bottom of the watershed, and they is joined to another big river, the Santiago River, and the Santiago River goes down to the Pacific Ocean. So this is our city before the urbanization. But what happened? Well, now Guadalajara is a big gray area. So this situation affects the functioning of the water cycle. Even the hydraulical sanitary system is affected for this disordered urbanization. Other case, we have Monterrey, northern of Mexico, in Monterrey at the beginning of last century, before the urbanization. But now, the urbanization cover almost the 100% of the surface. So the situation, this urbanization without order, is affecting the water cycle functioning. So in Amsca, in the University of Guadalajara, we realized that problem is the same, the problem of water cycle. So the rainwater harvesting, it's included in the midst of this situation. Here we can find the micro water cycle in natural water balance. You can see there the precipitation, evapotranspiration, the runoff, the filtration. All of these components have a specific functioning. But when the urban affections arrive to the watershed, we can see here the transformation of the functioning of these components. The runoff increase, the infiltration is less. So what should we do in this context? Well, we now understand there are many approaches in the world that are working against this situation. One of them is the water-sensitive urban design of its management practice. There are many approaches that many countries are applying in the specific situation. In our case, we believe that if we want to resolve the water problem in the world, we need to change our behavior. So we need to change the way of our design of our cities. So here we can understand the buildings are the beginning of the restoration of the water cycle. So rainwater harvesting is one of the technologies that we can implement to start this restoration, this water cycle restoration. So the implementation of rainwater harvesting system is not only channels, it's not only tubes, not only cisterns or rainwater tanks. It's a component of the solution of water problem in our cities overall in Mexico. So with this context, we are facing this paradox. 4 or 5 months of the year, we don't have water. But in the rainy season, we have a lot of water, and we are struggling with the floods. What happened? Guadalajara, my city, suffered as a really serious scarcity of water. From March to June, more than 200 neighborhoods didn't have water. But when rainy season arrived, we had a lot of water, and of course, we had floods. So we are struggling with this situation. We need to erase these contracts. So the systems are part of the solution of this problem. Where to go? Well, our vision: hydrological restoration of the basin. This is the focus we are pushing, we are studying by our thesis in the university, by Amsca efforts, by our certification programs, education, social programs that I will speak to you further. In order to have a water-sensitive city, a city that can't live in harmony with the environment. Yesterday, I had a lecture with some civil engineering students, and I encouraged them to separate the rainwater from the wastewater. Some of us, when we were in the university, received a bad instruction. What instruction? Mix rainwater and wastewater. We need to start to change in the universities, in the educational program. So with what purpose? To get a water sensitive city. So after this foundation, theoretical, conceptual foundation, our rainwater harvesting movement in Mexico is resting. Well, we must understand the rainwater harvesting is not a new technology. We realize that the Romans implemented some system, as you can see here in this picture, that the impluvium, this storage tank that was included in the house. The name of this house was Roman Domus. But in Mexico, we have had a lot of important experiences. The Chultun Naya, Chultun, this is a cistern that in Yucatan, the maize built it a long time ago. Now, some of them are still there. So the maize use the rainwater to face the water needs. We have an enormous historical background about the rainwater harvesting in the past. What happened? So, from this historical experience, we have made some efforts, and I want to recognize the efforts that we have done. Many Mexicans have delivered the effort for this great cause in our country. First of all, I want to recognize the academic work that el Colegio de Postgraduados, Texcoco, Estado de México, State of Mexico, in the central part of Mexico, Dr. Manuel Anaya is one of the leaders that pushed this theme from 30 years at most ago. Secondly, our University of Guadalajara, inspired by Dr. Manuel Anaya, start a research line that is supporting by a research group. We have already started a PhD program. So university has studied a lot, published a lot of information about rainwater harvesting. Also, our national autonomous University of Mexico is doing a great job in Mexico City, research works. Another institution that is working very hard is the Technological and Science of Water. ITAC is another organization that is working with rainwater harvesting research. And overall, also the institute, the Mexican Institute of Technology of Water, is a government institution that is doing a really good research and formation programs. In the business, well, we want to recognize the Soluciones Hidropluviales. It's a member of our session with Soluciones Pluviales, another company that are working in Mexico. Of course, Isla Urbana doing a good work of installation in Mexico City and many parts of our country, even in other countries. they have developed a first flush tank. The name of this first flush tank is Tlaloque, which is selling in many parts of the world. Also, Xocal is another company that is working in Morelia, Michoacán, designing, installing. So the business aspects in Mexico are growing, not as much as United States, but the companies are starting to receive more invitations to design, to install rainwater harvesting. Overall, other company, a big company, the Rotoplas, is member of our organization. Rotoplas sell rainwater harvesting components. For example, channels, first flush tanks, cisterns or rainwater tanks, and other issues are pushing in their company. And Sky is an interesting company, which is in Cancun, Quintana Roo, the peninsula of Yucatan. Sky is a company that catch the rainwater and they clean it and they sell the rainwater for drinking in small bottles to the hotels in the Rivera Maya region. The government, well, in rainwater harvesting aspects, the government is working very hard in Mexico City. There is a strong program, and the National Commission of Water is doing research and installing some rainwater harvesting in a small village. In the Federal Congress, the discussion is very interesting. And I want to share you our government programs. As I already said you, the rainwater harvesting in Mexico is one of the most important programs in our country. More than 30,000 families benefit from 2019, 2021. The Mexico government has installed, I think, more than 10,000 rainwater harvesting systems. Our state, the state I am living, Jalisco, in the past July, start a pilot project, Nido de Lluvia in Spanish, or rainwater nets program, where most of the people in poor zone are catching the water. So they have installed 600 systems in this last summer. So the government programs are growing. It's a new issue in our agenda. We are very happy about these advances, but we realize that we need more work in this sense. So another interesting work in rainwater harvesting issues is the rainwater systems in the Chihuahua. There is another organization, the name of this organization, Captar, is doing a really great job among the Indians, the Tarahumara Indians, with simple and very interesting systems with education that they have changed the reality of many Indians in the mountains in Chihuahua, in northern Mexico. Well, other work that we have done during these years is we push a new federal water law in order to include rainwater harvesting legislation. It's hard. We haven't finished. The political aspects in Mexico overall in water is very critical. There are a lot of interested. Many sectors have an special interest. And when we sat in the table to discuss a new law is very complicated. But I think that the theme of rainwater harvesting is growing in the Federal Congress. I believe that maybe in the next years, we're going to have a strong legislation for rainwater harvesting systems. Well, of course, it's very important to share with you our Mexican rainwater harvesting system. The system that we are pushing, supporting in Mexico is this. It's very similar than yours in the United States. Well, the system that we are promoting is has these components: the catchment, the slope that we need, because more of the roofs in Mexico are flat, so we need to put a slope in order to drain the water to the grid, and then to a conveyance to first flush. You know very well the functioning of these components. This later we drain the water to the cistern, and we are trying to combine the tap water service, because in Mexico, most of the regions, they have rain for 4 or not much 5 months. So the other scarcity or shortage season, we need water from the tap water. Then we propose, if the soil allows to infiltrate, we can build an infiltration well for infiltration. Then we have our pumping system with the purpose to put into the purification system to clean the water, and then pump to elevated tank for distribution for every service in our house. So we believe that this kind of system will help the scarcity of water in many places in our country. We should do more research, I understand, but this system, we have installed many houses, and many of the consumers have used this system for more than 10 years. So it's we have proved it, we have tested this system, and it's good. What things we have found from this research? Well, I am sure the rainwater harvesting, it's not only a technology issue, it's a change of life. I believe that. Just installing the rainwater harvesting is not enough for a good functioning. We need to educate the consumers. We need to train them. They should understand how the rainwater harvesting is working. What are the maintenance aspects? Because if, for example, if you don't clean the first flush, the water will contaminate. So the consumer understand that they need to clean the first flush, or they pay for cleaning it. We need to change the filters every year, or after, or before the rain season. I think this is one of the aspects that we need to work more, because many of people in Mexico thinks that rainwater harvesting is a magic solution. No, it's not a magic solution. It's complicated to adapt or transfer the water supply system and implement a rainwater harvesting. It's difficult to join. So in Amsca, we are trying to teach the people the methodology to adapt the rainwater system, rainwater harvesting system to the water supply system and drainage. Well, we continue. Well, this is only the functioning. The rain goes into the first flush, then into the cistern. The overflow goes to the soil to infiltrate. Then we can pump the rainwater and clean by the purification system, and then we put the rainwater into the elevated tank for distribution by gravity. Well, number 4, the Amsca national and international efforts. Well, overall, I want to recognize the ARCSA support. It's very important for us to recognize the contribution from ARCSA. Overall, from Billy Niffen and Mary Niffen, that they inspire our lives. Since 2011, Billy and Mary Niffen have been our mentors. During this time, we went to Menard, Texas to receive the training. My love, my grateful to this family. But I understand the ARCSA is behind them. So thank you very much. This is the time. Thank you for this opportunity, because Amsca is a daughter from ARCSA. Thanks. So many of the world that I will show you becomes from Amsca, or coming from Amsca. So Amsca is the Mexican Rainwater Catchment System Association. This is our main website. You can look for us in this website direction. Background. So, well, how the Amsca was born. Well, the International Rainwater Catchment System Association and the International Rainwater Harvesting Alliance promotes the foundation of Amsca in June 2016 in Geneva, Switzerland. We have a meeting there with Han Heinen and Besela, and we planned that maybe one of the probably next steps in that time will be the foundation of another national association. So since then, I returned back from Geneva, and I gathered some of the specific important people in Mexico, and I invited to install in a legal form the Amsca in October 2017. After this foundation legal installation, we celebrate our first national conference in Guadalajara, Jalisco in November 2017. I want to recognize the financial support from ARCSA with my University of Guadalajara, the National Council of Science and Technology from the federal government gave us money to receive. In this first occasion, we didn't have fees. The first conference was free for all the people who were interested in rainwater harvesting. After 2 years, we celebrate the second national conference in Morelia, Michoacán in November 2019. So in this way, with ARCSA support that I have already told you, we start our initial tax. And here I show you the founders of Amsca in September 2017. These people signed the ordinary or signed the paper before our government. So now Amsca is a legal organization recognized by the Mexican government. Here this is the picture of the first annual conference, biannual, it's not annual, biannual conference in November 2017 in my school, in the architecture school of the University of Guadalajara. Oh, in here you can find the ARCSA presence. Here we have a Bob Waller, you know very well Bob, if you are there, hello Bob. And of course, our mentor, Billy Niffen. Billy Niffen was with us there. He was a witness of this celebration. This conference was a proof of the collaboration between Mexico and United States. So this is our first National Assembly. Here, my friends, I believe the most important way to resolve the problem in the world is the collaboration. So here in our first conference, I call my friends from many parts of the world. I'm grateful for them. Thank you very much. Thanks for Marcus Smith from Germany, Johan Nanniger from Brazil, Makoto Murasi and his wife from Japan, Margarita Pacheco from Colombia, Billy Niffen from United States, Han Henning from Netherlands, and Bob Waller from United States. Thank you. Thank you very much for your support in this first conference, and not only in this conference, during all of this process of the organization of our association. Well, 2 years later, we celebrate our second biennial. I insist, I have made a mistake here. We celebrate in Morelia, Michoacán. Morelia, Michoacán is nearby here, Guadalajara, but it's another state. In the Mexican Chamber of the Construction Industry in Michoacán chapter, we celebrate in 2 days the first part of the conference with the builders of the state. And the second part of the conference was celebrated at the Institute for Research of Sustainability Ecosystem of the National Autonomous University of Mexico, site Morelia, Michoacán. In this occasion, we have ARCSA collaboration. Here we have our friends giving a lecture in the National Autonomous University of Mexico. So thank you very much for your collaboration with this speaker. Well, what is the mission of Amsca? Well, promote the sustainable practice in the use of rainwater to help solve the deterioration of the water cycle, reflected in the problems of water supply and sanitation, as well as the effects caused by the floods in Mexico and the rest of the world. This is our mission. Vision. What is the vision of this organization? Well, our vision is to be an association that has a presence throughout the national territory that generates opportunities for the harvesting of rainwater and those to overcome shortage and floods. So now we have presence, we have chapters in nine states of our country. We are growing. We are just starting. It's not easy to organize a chapter, but we count with a beautiful and enthusiastic team that is working very hard in these 9 states of our Mexico. Well, another point, international support network. As I have already told you, I believe in the collaboration. We should work in a team. We need to work very hard with the colleagues. We should exchange our proposals, our problems. It's really, really important to work in network. So in this case, Amsca received the support, received the aid or help from Hein Heinen. Hein Heinen is the vice president of ARCSA and president of IRHA. ARCSA was founded since 1982. And Juan pushed in Geneva the organization of Amsca. So he was with us in the first conference. He spoke. He always encouraged us to increase our influence in our country and even Latin America. Well, it was Billy Niffen, our mentor. With the support of the Rainwater Catchment System Association, American, supported our organization. Billy encouraged me to organize the Mexican movement. Maybe 3 or 4 years, Billy insists me to work in this end. So after 5 or 4 years, I started this work because Billy encouraged me a lot, and also Mary. Well, other international collaboration is with the International Water Association, and specific with Moon Jung Han, the professor of the National Seoul University. Dr. Moon Jung Han is doing a great job in South Korea, and he helped us to increase our technical knowledge. I visited Seoul in 2013. I could understand his work with the students, PhD students, master's students. So wonderful colleague who is doing a great job, not only in Korea, even in many parts of the world. Main activities, well, what are we doing now in Amsca? Well, we have the national conference, we have a certification program, webinars, promotion, networking, membership, and an academic resource. We have books and manual. I will speak more later. Certification program, well, this certification program was designed from your program in the United States with Billy Niffen support and Bo Bowler. They helped us to design this program. They endorse this program. So in Amsca, it says offer several courses focuses in strategies for sustainable rainwater management. These courses are aimed at individuals who have an interest in conserving rainwater, learning the best practice in this field, as well as the professional in the construction industry who wants a more in-depth training applied to buildings for industrial, agricultural, and commercial uses. Well, we are offering to Mexicans, and not only Mexicans, many other persons from Latin America attended our courses. The first course is Introduction to Rainwater Catchment. The certificate that we give to the students is a promoter. The person who studied and approved this course receive a promoter certification. The second is the designer in rainwater catchment system. So as well, the person receive a certificate that endorses them as a designer. Developer, here the person learned to calculate, to design and specific with a high level technical aspect. And finally, the supervision, the installation the supervision of installation, and the maintenance. So this is our first proposal. So I believe during my administration that this first proposal will be the first foundation for more courses, and why not? We can improve these courses. But this is our first foundation, our first step to promote the certification activities in many parts of our country and even from Latin America. Okay, it's the same. Well, who are supporting or endorsing this program? Well, the International Rainwater Catchment System Association, the International Water Association, IRHA, International Rainwater Harvesting Alliance, ARCSA, of course, by Billy and Bob Lawler, and the national office that is leading by Heather. The National Council of Science of Technology in Mexico, through his National Laboratory for Household and Sustainable Communities, is a science institution. Of course, of our University of Guadalajara, the Research and Technology Institute for Water, which has the name of my father. This is a foundation that I am working with my mom, which is a retired teacher. She is the manager, but we are doing interesting research work. And overall, the federal government, through his training program in the Ministry of Education, there is a specific program. The name is Conocer. And this program has the vision to encourage, to train the experts in many fields of the knowledge and the professional practice. So we have the recognition of the federal government. Well, here, there are many pictures of our first students in Morelia. In the second conference, we celebrate the first course. In these pictures, you can see our first students that attended the course in 2019. Here, because of the pandemic, we should translate, or we should move the physical course to online course. So now we have online this first course and the second course. This is a promotion that is in the social media. The people can see the invitation, and they ask, and they pay, and they get involved with our courses, of course, with the two first courses. Here, our publications, I want to have a special mention. The International Rainwater Catchment System Experiences is a special group that was published by IWA, International Water Association Publishing. But it's very interesting because I had the privilege to lead an important experts in the world. Here, Billy Niffen, Bob Bowler, Makoto Murase, Han Heinen, Moon Jung Han, and many other contributors wrote and special chapters from their experience in the local areas. No? You can find here the concepts, basic concept, but I think the most important contribution of this book, if you read it, you can get an overview of the rainwater status in the world. So this book has helped the people who don't know nothing about the rainwater. So is very useful for these people, and they can engage with the rainwater harvesting vision. No? Of course, we have the Rainwater and You. This is in Spanish. Of course, we translated from the English into the Spanish. This book was written by Makoto Murase from Japan. Of course, we have the AgriLife manual written by Billy Nife and other contributors, supported by A&M Texas University and of course ARCSA. And we are selling the manual of rainwater harvesting in Spanish that from your organization. Thank you very much for your books. We are selling here throughout Mexico. Our last book this year in May 2021, we published our first book from Amsca and ITAC, the Research Institute. That this book is the book that we are using in the first course. We are writing the second book of this series, of this group of books, because this second book will be the basic of the second course. So I hope this 2022, we can get the second one, the second chapter. Official collaborators. This collaborator have a special mention because they are supporting with money, with council. They are very, very commitment with the Rainwater Council in Mexico. So that's why I doing a special mention, Soluciones Hidropluviales, hydraulic stormwater management solutions. They are really doing a great job in a big scale. Right? They catch water, they design rainwater harvesting in a big scale, so industries, big buildings. Overall, of course, Isla Urbana is one of our contributors, the most important contributors of our organization. This group is doing an excellent and outstanding work in Mexico. They push with the government of Mexico City, the program that is now implementing in many parts of Mexico City. So my recognition and my admiration for this work for Isla Urbana. You can find them in this website direction or the address. Of course, our institute, Technological and Research Institute for Water, we have an education program with the Storm Hunter and the Rainwater Simulator. Rainwater Simulator is coming from Billy Niffen. He designed it with this practice, educational practice, the watershed practice, very interesting. We have learned from Billy and Mary Niffen. So ITAC, our institute, is working throughout Mexico, educating, encouraging the people to care the water. Xocali is another contributor, important contributor. Xocali was our special supporting our second conference in Morelia, Michoacan. It's a young company that they are working very hard installing some rainwater harvesting in Morelia region. No? Thank you very much for Xocali for its support for Amsca. And we have corporate members, Aqualma, the National Lab of Household and Sustainable Communities, SkyHa, this company, as I already told you, catch the water and clean it for drinking. Don Goyo Ecotecnologies in Mexico, Rotoplas. So this is another level of members. NGOs, organization, Captar, I have already told you, is working in the Tarahumara Mountains in Chihuahua, northern Mexico. Of course, the work of Captación Mundial. Mundial is means a cloud but in May, in a May language. So Captación Mundial is doing a great job in the central Mexico. I will show you further the one activity that we had made last September with Captación Mundial. So with these members and other individual members, we are working together in our network in Mexico. And one of the aspects that we considered as a strategy plan is the social participation. So Amsca is interested in political aspect, yes. The last election process, federal process, local and federal process, we invite the candidates, of course, in 3 states, in my state, in Puebla, in Tlaxcala, 3 states. We encourage we challenge the politicals, the candidates to sign a commitment to catch the rainwater. And we invite them to get a commitment to receive and training. But from 84 candidates who signed it, only 3 attended our conference. So we should work, still work in this interaction. This even catch the attention from the society. I think the rainwater cows receive a recognition, but Amsca is trying to push in a policy, in public policy level, all our proposals. One of the other programs that we are pushing from Amsca with our members is the tour, the Rainwater Tour. Here we can find the Rainwater Festival that we made in the state of Mexico with Captación Mundial. I have already mentioned them. ITAC, our institute, of course, our association. Here, what we did there in Tlanepantla, in the municipality of Tlanepantla, State of Mexico, we offer instruction, education about the importance of water cycle. We implement the watershed practice that we learned from Mary and Billy Niffen in Texas. With the Storm Hunters, the owner of Rainwater of Storm Hunter is the ITAC, our institute. We teach them the water cycle in this paint, which is in this left right of the truck. The truck has a rainwater harvesting. We taught the kids to understand what is a rainwater harvesting, because it's difficult that the kids goes to the specific site. So the vision of this truck is to bring the rainwater harvesting systems to the communities. In this other picture, you can see the young team with the Storm Hunter and Race Simulator. Of course, here is my mom, which is the manager of the institute and the part of the managing program of the Storm Hunter. Well, I'm finally international projects. Amsca realized that our vision, our mission is not only Mexico. We are a beautiful fruit from ARCSA, from IRHA, from ARCSA, and I believe if we didn't receive your help, maybe Amsca will not born. So, as a president of Amsca, I believe that we need to help our brothers and sisters in other parts of the world, even if they need water. So last summer, we start a project that its name is Water Sensitive Africa. So I went last July, last August to Sierra Leone, a poor country that suffered a civil war that produced a lot of suffering. For example, this man doesn't have hands because in the past, during the Civil War, the revolutionary movement cut the hands because the movement doesn't want to that people vote for the government. So in this insane way, they cut the hands for avoiding the vote. So in my first visit, I understand and I realized that there are a lot of suffering. There is a lack of water, but in paradox that they receive a lot of water. For example, here in Guadalajara, we receive 36 inches of rainwater per year. In Sierra Leone, they receive 3 more than here. And they don't have water in the shortage time. Well, here I am working with a Egmont Orphanage project. We are designing the rainwater harvesting here. I explore, I evaluate the architectural project, and with one of my disciples that studied in Amsca, who is working there as a principal of the construction, we have designed the rainwater harvesting system that we maybe 2022 will implement it soon. And of course, I work with the kids, the African kids. I teach them, the kids, about I have some YouTubes. If you can follow me in YouTube, you can see my videos about my teaching for the kids, the importance of water cycle, the rainwater harvesting system. I believe if we can plant a good seed in the hearts of these kids, we can get a change. My friend, the leader of this project is Master John. It's a lady who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, but she was born in Sierra Leone, and after the Civil War, or before or after, I don't remember, she left Sierra Leone, and but her mom started this project. But when she passed away, Maserai took the commitment to finish the mom's work. So this example inspired my life a lot. This trip changed my life. You can see here, I taught the African water experts. There are a lot of needs. It's amazing, the needs, the poverty. I've never seen in my life this kind of poverty. So we are preparing a second trip, maybe next 2022, for get a certification program. So I believe, and I have proposed to IRCA and ARCSA that we need to work in international certification program. Why not collaborate together to get an academic and a strong academic program for all the world? Well, it's a challenge. Finally, we have signed an agreement with Power to Lead with an integrity company with Nitsi Coco. Nitsi contact me and invite me to go to South Africa next January with the purpose to establish a formal project for water needs. So we have already signed, and maybe next January and February, I will travel to Africa and I will speak, I will know in a deep way the needs of the village. So I am sure that we need more help. of course, from this moment, I tell you, we need to collaborate. So how can ARCSA and Amsca can work together for Help Africa? It's a question. So Amsca is very committed with international efforts. So we are going to do anything that we can do, depends on our strength. But we have the spirit, we have the vision. So finally, I want to thank you very much for ARCSA support, for your endorsement, your friendship. And I would like that our national links will be stronger. I admire your work, you inspire my work. So we can work together in many creative ways. So Amscal is available, it's open to work together. So my recognition again, and if you have questions and response, I'm available to reply them. Here are our website and an email. Thank you very much for your attention, and I open to receive your question. Thanks.